Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, dear viewers. Welcome back to this Masrab al-Shafi min al-Manba' al-Shafi. Today, this 21st day of the month of the Ramadan, we're going to talk about the Qasida Farid Bijahil Mustafa. If you are used to be following the performances, each time it's the last Qasida that we have in the performances. So today we're going to talk about it. Farid Bijahil Mustafa is the opening line of a 15-verse poem composed by Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba in the Raja's metrical style. It is an ardent plea and a fervent prayer also in favor of the community of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This community, which was a constant preoccupation of the best of creatures, his declaration on the day of Arafat is a proof that he really consider this very nice community, but also he will make the same declaration on the day of the judgment day, when he will say, my community, save it. So this poem is an acrostic of the verse fragment from the Quran, فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ, which means their Lord has heard them. So it is in Surah Ali Imran in the verse 195. The preamble opens with the formula Salatul Fatihi, after which the Sheikh reveals the purpose of the poem when he declares, grant the relief to his community, may the peace and salvation of God the Most High be upon him, his family and his companions. So from there the major theme is clearly revealed, a prayer for the community of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We immediately perceive a deep empathy. Also, from the very first line, he will say, Farid Bijahil Mustafa an ummati, ya mukhrijan abdan kada min ghummati. Grant your relief on the name of the purest chosen one, Al-Mustafa, to his community, O you who dispel the troubles of your slave that I am. So this verse reflects the architecture of the poem, combining both a prayer in favor of the community and a mark of gratitude from the Sheikh to his Lord. So this dynamic continues in the next line, authenticate peace and salvation in favor of the Prophet, his family and his companions who are the upright. So he is also going to keep on that. And one of the most striking aspects of this poem is the recurrence of the term community, which is used in provision. So for instance, in verse 3, the author writes, preserved by his blessing and that of those his community, O you who has subdued it by my enemies. So this evocative impulse is maintained until verse 10. However, we must appreciate a lexical richness as the Sheikh avoids explicitly naming the community while referring to it under different appellations. Lil Jamihil Muslimin, the whole of the submissive; Li Jamihil Muhsinin, the whole of the virtuous men and women; Liman yuhibbunaka, those who are enamored of you, those who love you; Li Zawil Imani wal Islami, those who possess faith and submission. Another essential aspect of the intensity of the succulent prayers addressed to God for the community of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that he used, for example, Amna Rabbal Alamin, the security of the Lord of the worlds. Verse 5, Ma Yamhur Rahab, gifts that erase anguish. Verse 7, Wajih Farajan Bila Azan, relief without prejudice. Verse 8, Khairu Busharatin Bila Malami, the best happiness devoid of blame. It is in verse 9. So verse 10 marks an important turning point. The poem shifts to an expression of gratitude to Allah for his blessings. Maybe it is just like it means that the prayers have been approved and accepted, and then there was time to give thanks to Allah. The Sheikh writes, you have whipped out the sorrows of your slave and servant, you have brought his action to you. He concludes by asking for ijabatan, granting for himself. Finally, it's worth noting the plurality of God's resplendent names in this poem. The Sheikh invokes, for example, Ya Wahidan, the one; Ya Wahib al-Amani, the provider of security; Rabbal Alamin, the Lord of the worlds; Wali al-Muminin, the protector of believers; Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, the clement, the merciful; Ya Shakur, the most grateful. And all those names, all those nice names of God, shows that it is very that was very useful for this poem, Farid Bijahil Mustafa. So those lexical aspects give the poem an exceptional richness, which is a very nice prayer, a very great poem, full of plea for the community of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we wish long life to Sayyid Muntaha, and we wish also that God brings peace to all the Muslims all around the world. Thank you very much.